the meat.
Welcome back from the break. PC Mike, the Giggler, myself, we just broke down Iron Man 3 along with a whole bunch of What You Watching today. I love when What You Watching is packed up. And we, of course, want to feature you guys on the show and see what people are watching out in the real world. Let us know at mostlysuperheroes.com/contact. And the other great place is, again, our Facebook page, the Mostly Superheroes Squad, free to join, totally exclusive, private group. And we're always sharing what's happening out there on TV and in movies. It's a time to let you tell us about your favorite stuff. Speaking of which, don't forget about the hashtag Mostly Madness Movie Tournament. We are taking submissions using the hashtag, or simply write us in. Tell us your favorite movie or movies. This is the time. The tournament is coming. We'll keep you posted on details. Moving into Phase 4 of the MCU. I talked about this Monday during our Monday show, live on Instagram every week at noon. We also release it as a podcast. Appreciate you guys showing up to watch and those that are listening. According to Brandon Davis over at comicbook.com, WandaVision is the most watched television series worldwide. I said this Monday. I'm not surprised just because of how good it is myself, but hearing that other people are catching on, I think PC Mike, you had said this, that you were having friends starting to reach out to you after episode 4, and that it was like that was the turning point. Well, now we have episode 5, and today we're talking about episode 6, and they just keep cranking it up. When are they going to stop? Speaking of you, PC Mike, let's just, when did you watch this episode last? And what was your feeling at the end? Were you feeling just excited? What were your feelings on Vision? We're going to get into the story, but you can keep it high level.
Watched it, I think, last 2 days ago, I want to say. So it's pretty fresh. I mean, I loved it. I really did. I go back and forth that I like 5 or 6 better. I loved the Malcolm in the Middle type of story that it was. That's what I kind of thought it was, like the 90s Malcolm in the Middle, looking at the camera, talking to the camera type of stuff like that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's in my mind what it is. I thought it was great. I thought it was crazy to kind of see Vision actually kind of change into a character that has a heart that I care about, which was weird, even though he's a computer. But he's starting to like show different things that you want to care for and about. There's so many things online I'm trying to stay away from. Comicbook.com keeps throwing out like things like, and I've watched one and I was like, oh, that makes too much sense. So I'm trying to stay from going down rabbit holes, but man, they just keep adding layers and layers and layers to this. And they're pushing, I know we're going to talk about the episode, but they're pushing the goalpost literally. And they're doing things that I didn't think they would do yet. And these last, 3 episodes? I think we're in for some crazy stuff that's going to happen.
Well, and you were the one that sent us that link, I think. These last 3 episodes, 7, 8, and 9, are going to be an hour apiece, which means probably like 46 minutes.
Yeah, their trailers and their credits are pretty long, but still, 45 minutes of this, I mean, I won't complain about that.
Hell yeah, well said. And you did a good job, like talking about the episode with like things about the episode without spoiling it. Well done, Giggler. How you feeling about WandaVision this far in?
Oh man, I love it. Again, like clockwork, I watched it immediately. I finished immediately right before we started recording today, just to keep it all fresh in my mind. And not many shows that I will watch twice in the week that it comes out, even if it is for this. But I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time, both times. Like it's just I can't get enough of it. I'm really sad that there's only 3 left, but I am also like you guys said, pumped that they're gonna be longer. Just wondering like what the next show that they might be imitating is. I'm pretty sure that was Malcolm in the Middle, like you said, Mike. Like maybe like The Office or something like that. I don't know. Kat Denning got pulled in. Is it going to be the Two Broke Girls show? Who knows?
I saw
probably not, but that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw like a meme about that, and I thought I just thought like it put a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, I hope they don't do that because that's like an actual show she's in, and I'm like, I don't really care about that to be honest.
No, they won't. I think it's just funny to think about.
Hell yeah. And I like how you said like you're happy to watch this one before you record because I'm the same way. It's funny because like you didn't watch Britney Spears again, right? You didn't watch the documentary again. It's like it's not just that we rewatch it for the episode, but I genuinely like turn it on for a second time thinking this is awesome. I get to see it again. I'm genuinely excited to get this on my television. Let's just
You catch something different every time, usually.
Yes.
No matter how many times you watch it. It's crazy.
All right. Well, with that, let's get into the story. Let's break it down piece by piece without getting too deep. We'll keep it just at the level that it needs to be. Tell you what you need to know. Make our predictions for the next one. As we always kick off, just like the show does, because it is important. The previously on let us know kind of what happened in episode 6, showing us the dog that they had. Wanda using her powers in front of Agnes again. We got Norm and Vision at their office whenever Vision kind of brought him back to the real Norm and saying like get her to stop doing this. Vision being told by Wanda that he's like, you can't control me. We see that again, so like they're letting us know that that is still the way of the world. Vision's kind of on his own now, and we will see that in the early part of the episode. Then of course the big reveal of episode 6 at the end was we got a Fox, now Disney, X-Men, Evan Peters, Quicksilver playing Pietro at the end of the episode. One of the coolest TV moments I've ever seen, hands down. So great. And here we go. Let's get into the show. Opens up. I believe it is Malcolm in the Middle. I have a nice shot here on our YouTube channel. We are getting pretty specific with our images. Again, all of our images are from Disney Plus. Get over to our YouTube channel. You can kind of watch along with us as we're talking through this. And yeah, it was that 90s feel, first person camera. One of the little kids is running around. You do see Vision. You see Wanda. You see Agnes in the kitchen. She's wearing bedazzled pants, and it says naughty on her butt. Those were real big in the 90s. And I thought immediately Malcolm in the Middle. Now, there might be other ones at play. If we're missing it, folks, and you're out there and you're a TV head, this might be one we need to tap Imran over at Jock and the Nerd. I know he's a big sitcom head. If you are too, let us know if there's other inspirations here for this intro title. And then getting into the opening scene. Here we go. Pietro is actually there, and they're having a dialogue about Halloween. This is the much anticipated Halloween episode that we've been seeing teased out since the show first ever got announced at Comic-Con last year, or at this point, a year and a half or so ago. And it's Wanda's comic accurate Halloween costume, old school. And then we also get Vision's comic accurate costume as well. Pietro's on the couch. He's sleeping. And the kids are talking about how they're going to be going trick-or-treating tonight. If there's any question of if this Quicksilver was going to have speed powers, they address that immediately. He's running all over the living room, playing with the kids. I just have to say it. Evan Peters is an absolute joy to watch in this episode. Giggler, how were you sitting whenever you saw him running around with his speed? He's just being hilarious. How were you feeling? Did it click for you?
Yeah, I was like wondering like what's really going to happen to this guy, because it could be any number of scenarios, but yeah, he started running around. I was like, okay, good. That's promising for kind of our theories that we've talked about, but I still don't know. No, do we know anything really? This is just kind of.
Not yet. Well, I mean, this early on, you're still like, what's going on? But they do give us some tidbits here. Okay, so Pietro actually starts telling a story about whenever him and Wanda were kids, and there's a flashback sequence where they like are buying this fish from an old lady. Yeah, hilarious. It was funny as hell. But Wanda's like, I don't remember it like that. So right away you're like, oh, this guy's making up a past that she doesn't necessarily remember. And then Wanda's going to take these kids trick-or-treating. Vision is going to go out on his own and explore the town. He says he's going to he's just making sure he's keeping it safe. And Wanda's visibly upset. She's like, that's not what you're supposed to. And he like gives her a look like, we already talked about this. You don't tell me what to do. And he goes out. Pietro's going to go trick-or-treating with the kids. All right, so again, we're getting a lot more of this back and forth between the realities we know. We're going back to Sword Town. This is great. We have The reality is still glowing very red from Wanda did that at the end of episode 6. They're researching the drone that they captured in the last episode. Well, Hayward is making it very clear. He says it like out loud in some way. We are here to take out Wanda. He gets rid of Monica, Darcy, and Agent Wu. Says like, you guys have been trying to save her the whole time. Get out of here. Hayward tells Monica he knows he's friends with Captain Marvel, so we get a Captain Marvel reference. He also says that the people that came back from the blip don't have the luxury of not remembering what it's like to lose everything. That was a powerful line from Agent Hayward, just saying like, hey, we've been here for 5 years. You just got back and you have all this optimism. He's like, the people that have been here are really like still struggling and hurting. And I was like, ouch, this guy really just kind of laid it on her, kicks their ass out. And now the trio is working on their own to break away from the sword guys that were escorting them out. Darcy has a funny line like, why didn't you tell me the plan? These three are still going to try to figure this out.
Did you guys get a weird vibe from that line from Hayward though? Like I just think there's something not right with him, or maybe just sword overall. Like that maybe I don't know. Maybe they might know more than they're saying. I don't know. Maybe that'll probably get into things more later, but like when he said that, I was just like, that usually they don't say things like that without a reason. And we don't know a lot about his past. So I think that's something that might be touched on in the next few episodes.
Yeah, it felt like there was like more at play for sure. And that like this vendetta against everything that's happening with Wanda is so direct and so like black and white. You're like, what is going on? Why is he like this? I just don't know what it is though. I still don't. PC Mike, what were you thinking during the scene when he kicks out everybody out? Do you have any, like this? Is this Hayward like a black and white bad guy, or is there more going on here?
I think it's almost kind of classic, like shady government agency that somebody's above him pulling the strings. I don't know. I don't know who that would be. I haven't read many comics to like give me any ideas, but it just feels like the classic. It's too easy for him to be the main bad guy.
Yes, I totally agree with that statement. It's like it can't be that easy.
Like we know that there's those clues on the other side, but it's almost just too clear. Like he's who we're focusing our hate on, but then who's telling him what to do? He's not running the show, I don't think. I mean, he's running this like little camp, but he's not running the whole thing to me. So I think there's more to it, but I'm glad Andy kind of pointed that out, because as we were moving on, I was like, all right, let's move on. But then that's a good little thing that kind of, whoa, they do everything in the show for a reason. There's a reason behind what they say and what they do. So everyone, internet sleuths, we got to look at everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then a few episodes ago, someone was describing him, and then it cut out. I think Darcy was about to call him a dick or something like that, and he said like terrorist. So it made you think like, what's going on there? But at the same time, maybe they're just effing with us. It could be the case with a lot of things in this show.
Yeah, it took me back to like early days Marvel, like when Agent Coulson, he was like kind of the dick in Thor when he took all of Jane's like equipment and just was like very matter of fact, like, I'm taking your stuff. And you're like, well, not to say that, like, I don't know if this Hayward isn't necessarily a good guy like Coulson was, but there's definitely more at play. Like, we have barely even scratched the surface of Sword and who they are at large. Like, we have literally only seen this one camp outside of Westview. And like, we know that they're on a galactic level, like trying to protect Earth. So you guys are hitting the nail on the head. Plenty more to unpack there. All right, back over to Wanda World. Everyone's trick-or-treating. This looks so good. The costumes, everything looks so amazing. This is just another aspect of how the show just, if nothing else, if you had any problem with any of the story or anything, which I think is impossible, it just looks great. Wanda and Pietro basically have this back and forth, right, where she's starting to question him. She tries to see if he remembers any of her actual past. He is very matter of fact from the get-go. He's not like the other people in the town. He is in the know, and he's talking to her kind of point blank. He goes, "You're testing me." He says, "I know I look different." She says, "Why?" And he says, all I know is, well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the kids come up. They're actually going to go run around and trick-or-treat with Pietro. And one of the kids actually goes, "Kick ass." and Wanda repeats him and goes, "Kick-Ass." And I thought, I wonder if that's like a nod to the Kick-Ass movie that the other kid that played Quicksilver was the star of. Forgetting that kid's name that played Pietro in Age of Ultron.
Aaron Tyler Johnson.
Yep, he was the star of the Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. So I didn't know. I was like, that I might just be looking into that because there was no other reference.
I think they did that on for sure on purpose. That was because like she repeated it too.
She did. So. Exactly. That's what made me notice it was when she repeated it back. And then we get Herb. I have an image here of Herb. He's dressed up as a great-looking Frankenstein monster. And he says, Wanda, is there anything that you want me to change? Is there anything you need here? And it is almost seemed like he's like directly working for Wanda, like looking her in the eye and being like, is this good for you? I'm sure you guys picked up on that as well. All right, so now we get Vision on his own, and he's doing his walk of the town. He's doing some exploring, seeing what's happening. He finds people on the edge of town. You guys have both said this. You guys have called this early as we watch this show. The further people get away from Wanda, the more like broken down they get. And he sees a woman doing some laundry or putting up decorations, actually. She has a single tear. And the further out he gets, the more kind of like docile people are. People are just kind of standing there, obviously getting more broken as they get far away. I'm really excited to talk about this part with you guys. You guys can see the image here on the screen. We get a commercial in this one. It's a 90s like stop motion animated cartoon with a shark and a kid on an island. And it's a commercial for Yo Magic. The kid can't get it open. He slowly like decays over time. He turns into a skeleton. The shark is the one that gives it to him and says, I used to be hungry all the time until I ate Yo Magic. And the kid like dies. And it says, what's it say? Oh, Yo Magic, the snack for survivors. So this made me think that someone at play here, whether it be Pietro, Agnes, or maybe like someone we don't even know yet, is like feeding off of this magic that's out there that just happens to be along for the ride, but Wanda does her thing. PC Mike, how did you feel about this commercial? And am I missing a reference here? It looked so familiar to me, but I couldn't place it off the top of my head.
The only thing that I really called upon, I thought it was like the boy was the townspeople and she was like kind of draining them. Oh. That's what I thought it as. I didn't really see any other connections. I don't even know if Yo Magic's like a thing in the MCU. But I just kind of felt like it's Wanda there and like, oh, we're so close, but you can't have it. And I'm in control. Like, I don't know if like the kid didn't get a spoon or anything to eat the yogurt. So maybe Wanda's like holding that from him. That's really the only thing I saw with this commercial.
What about you, Giggler? How are you feeling during this wacky looking thing?
I have no freaking clue what this commercial is. This is definitely the most confusing one. Like I can't even begin to like, I've seen speculation on these of what they are. Just don't agree with them, or I don't know what it is, to be honest. I'm stumped.
It did look like a very 90s commercial. It reminded me of like, I couldn't think of like any actual brands, but I feel like it was probably a mix of maybe different things. Listener, if you know what we're talking about, write in, let us know. But definitely some plays on just, some things that you don't have to guess on. There's something about eating up magic to like survive. So there's some component of that happening.
Yeah, like survivors. I don't know what that means. If I can't even.
This has nothing to do with the show, but do you guys remember Street Sharks?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It does. That was 90s.
Yeah, 90s, and then it was kind of like that claymation, like celebrity deathmatch type stuff on there.
Wow, so, that's a throwback, man. I gotta look these up.
Just some 90s callbacks.
All right, we get back to Wanda and Pietro. There's a lot of Wanda and Pietro in this one. They address not having any accidents. Pietro says that he was shot in the street like a dog, and then he heard Wanda calling him, and then now he's here. So, right away, you're like, okay, well, the Pietro from Age of Ultron did get shot down. But, like, I was like, is this meant to just throw us off? Or, like, is this the actual Pietro that's back? Or is this, like, another person that was, like, shot in another way and is now back from the dead? I was thrown for a loop, and I was like, okay, they're doing, this writing is so tricky. At this point, you would think that you know what's going on, but I still didn't. Go ahead, PC Mike.
Could be a reach, but they did lose a dog in this show. Was he like the reincarnation of their dog they lost that was maybe shot in the street? I don't know. Probably not, but that's probably connecting too much. But
I don't know. It was the same episode that he showed up in, and the dog showed up, then he died, and then the brother came at the end. So, like, I thought there was a connection to the dog from the get-go.
so remember, can't she only make something that's already there? So was the dog what she made into her brother because he was already there?
You
Or
would think
something like
you
that?
would think that maybe he'd have more dog tendencies, but he does run around quite a bit. If he was, he's like, "Oh, I wish I had a bone."
He straight up looks like Ace Ventura in Pet Detective, where he has that scene where he goes crazy, in like isn't it like a mental hospital or something like that?
Yeah, it's like pulled straight up. I mean, he also looks like
Okay.
Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh man,
All right, so the little boys, they have powers. So here we go. We got one with super speed. We'll find out the other one later. Again, their comic book names are Wiccan and Speed. So like one has speed, one's like more of a witch, I think. And the Wanda tells them don't go past Ellis Avenue. So that's obviously like where the town barrier is. Back to Sword, the trio, Monica, Wu, and Darcy, are trying to figure out a way to get back into the boundary. They're hacking Hayward's devices and like looking into his files, his emails, trying to see what's going on. Then they get this satellite view of the town that allows them to track all the people as well as Vision. They say, okay, this is tracking vibranium. You can see Vision walking to the edge of town. They're like, where's he going? Get some nice images here showing like how the town looks. Back to Vision. He's getting further and further out. He gets to this weird, creepy cul-de-sac. And at this point, no one can even talk. No one can even answer him. They're just standing still. And here we go. Vision goes full on Vision. Like the one we know from Age of Ultron, his full outfit, not just his face or anything. Like we've seen him in the house wearing normal clothes being Vision. He's got the cape. And he flies up. He looks at the entire town. He sees the barrier. It's on the other side of Ellis Avenue. He flies down and he finds Agnes sitting in a car. He says, "What are you doing here?" And she's just staring there. She like says something about, "I got lost. I made a wrong turn." And then he touches her head, brings her back to what we think is real life because we've seen him do this with Norm. She says, "Oh, you're one of the Avengers. Are you here to save us?" He says, "What's an Avenger?" Because, like, again, he doesn't remember what happened before Westview. And then she just says, "Maybe we're dead." And she just starts repeating dead over and over and over again. So he puts her back. I was lost. I was like, oh my gosh, is she like a person? Is she a bad guy? Like, is she just trapped like everybody else? Is this a ploy to trick Vision? And then here we go. Vision sees the barrier and he's like, I'm gonna go out there and see what's going on.
So he's on Ellis Avenue right now, correct?
Yes, he's right there. He's at the stop sign on Ellis Avenue. Here, go back to this, and that's where she's parked. Is like just staring at Ellis Avenue at the barrier.
Did you see the connection with Ellis Avenue? What that means?
Tell me. No, I don't know.
He's the president. Ellis is the president in Iron Man 3 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's President Ellis.
I saw that president in the movie. Just that we watched. I just watched this week, Iron Man 3, and he's great. I wonder what the connection is. If it's like has a role to play here. I don't know. I didn't know that. Is that what?
That'd be too weird.
Yeah, that'd be a weird mix. But like, was that internet sleuth talk, Mike?
Comicbook.com, man. They just keep pumping stuff out, and I keep seeing bits and pieces. But that's one that I remembered and I had to go back and double check. But yeah, Ellis Avenue. Somebody connected it. Somebody a lot more into it than us, but they figured out Ellis and President Ellis and all that.
And maybe, you know what it is? Maybe the street names are just like old Marvel characters from across the whole MCU. Like, who knows? That'd be cool. All right, so next, here we go. Back to Sword. Darcy tells Monica. Monica's like, okay, I'm going to go back in. I got this car that can like take me back into the Hex. But Darcy says you can't do that. Your cells have changed on a molecular level because you've gone through the Hex twice. Monica doesn't care. She says, I know what Wanda's feeling, and I'm not gonna stop until I help her. She said she's going back in. So Wu and Monica are going. Darcy's going to hang back. She's going to keep digging into Hayward's files because there's something big there that she just can't quite get to. Back to WandaVision world. Pietro and Wanda says, like, I think mom and dad would have liked this town. He asked where she was hiding all these kids because remember Vision was like, where are all the children in the town? And he's like, were they just asleep in their beds? He's like, I'm pretty impressed. You've done a good job here. You've kept all the families together. They've all got good jobs. And I said this last week. He says, like, I'm actually just impressed. You've come a long way from just making people have bad dreams. And I was like, that's exactly what I said. Like, she used to just have to, like, get next to your head and she can make you upset. Now she's like, what? Creating an alternate reality right in the middle of Earth? She says, how do you do this? She says, I'm not sure. He says, I'm not some stranger. I'm not your husband. You can talk to me. He does not say I'm your brother in that part. And she says, all I remember is that I felt alone and helpless and just completely eternally alone or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, was this when she got blipped and was dead? Because she got dusted at the end of Endgame. So I'm thinking that might have been her very emptiness that she felt. And then maybe when she came back, something happened. I think this is going to be a story we get in these last 3 episodes. It'll probably be flashback. It's going to be like, I'm already getting chills thinking about it. It's going to be like her coming back from the snap and then take us off from there. Giggler, what do you think? PC Mike, either one.
Well, we got Monica's when she came back, correct? Early on.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to get hers as well.
I could not remember if she got blipped or not because I know she was in the final fight scene in Endgame, but
Thanos rips it out of Vision's head, throws him down, and then Wanda is sitting on the ground just with his body, and she dusts away.
Okay.
Okay, then while they're talking about all this, she looks back. Pietro's like full on dead, like Vision was before. And he's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. All right, back to Darcy. She finds an email that she was looking for. It says cataract in it. And she emails it to Wu. Did you guys catch that? Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
She pulled up the computer. She found it. She goes, oh, and she emails it to Wu. And then she says, Vision, she sees Vision getting to the edge of the barrier. And she's like, oh, gosh, what's he doing? Vision. Oh, man, here we go. Vision is going through this thing. All right. This was the climax of the episodes. We're getting to the end here. And he's pushing his way through. The reality is like, don't go out there. He's getting through. It's pulling him back. It's tearing him apart, like into pieces. It was hard to watch. It was like really powerful.
Into hexagons, somebody said.
Of course. Back to WandaVision. Wanda World, I mean. Billy, this is their son, now has powers. Okay, he has like these vision powers. That's more witchy, right? So I'm thinking like he's Wiccan. And he's seeing his dad. He goes to his mom. This is where Pietro runs up and says, hey, chill, lady. Your dead husband can't die twice. And this is where I thought her brother would never say that.
And he wouldn't even know that. How would he know that Vision's dead? If he said that he remembered dying and then all of a sudden he was calling to her.
Holy shit, you're right.
Well, she created him, right? So wouldn't she know that he died and she's...
Wanda knows, but Pietro wouldn't know that Vision died because he died well before Avengers Endgame.
I'm thinking that she somehow is in his mind and created him, and that's like an alter ego or something on like a shoulder. Like, hey, like try to talk her maybe back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he created she seemed shocked when he showed up. I don't know. That's a tough one.
And that's the thing. If he's not Pietro, like who is he? Is he one of these bad guys? Is he Mephisto? Is he like some other person? Is he the Quicksilver from Fox that just happens to have like weird memories because he's in WandaVision world?
You know who had cataracts, I believe? Cyclops from X-Men.
Oh my God. That'd be crazy. Maybe that's what they found, like more mutants or something, and like that's what she emailed. All right. So whenever he says this, Wanda blast him back. And we go back to Vision. He's coming apart again. Got ahead of myself there. And Darcy gets cuffed to a Jeep. She's like out there. She's waiting. And Wanda makes this reality of the diameter of the reality spread out at an exponential rate. Everyone's driving away. It looks like Monica and Wu did make it. It looked like they got far enough away, but everyone else, they're getting sucked up. Vision gets sucked up. He looks like he's healthy and okay again. Sword soldiers are turning into like clowns. There's a helicopter that turns into a hot air balloon. Just a heads up, guys. The next episode, there's going to be a circus in town.
Yeah, I caught that too for sure. It's gonna be weird, especially because it's out near the outside of the perimeter. So
And she made this thing. How many? I mean, how big is this thing now? It's like 10 towns now.
I mean, it could be the whole Earth by the end of it.
Yeah, except now that it's happening on this big of a scale, I'm telling you, you're telling me that Doctor Strange isn't going to get involved? Somebody's coming. Avengers are coming. This is happening. All right, that's the episode. Wanda closes in on her red eyes. We're going to get Darcy in the universe. Vision looks like he'll be okay. Holy cow, they really left us for a loop. It was like, I don't even know what to expect. I was blown away. I can't wait till episode 7. Let's go down the line. Giggler, what'd we miss? Other thoughts? And how'd you feel about this week's episode?
So yeah, one thing that we did not discuss is who Monica and Wu are going to meet. Like she just says it's a male that is a aerospace engineer. I don't know.
Do you think it could be? Oh, I see, Mike. Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. I think or one of the Fantastic Four.
Could be. That'd be cool. That would be quite a misdirection because everyone's thinking mutants, and then all of a sudden they're just like, nah, just kidding. We're gonna throw in Fantastic Four intro here. I don't think it'll be both, but who knows? I think that'd be either one would be a cool reveal. And obviously we're still got in the back of our heads like this big Luke Skywalker level cameo that Paul Bettany talked about. Like, has that happened yet? Is it going to happen? I personally think that there's something big coming. Of course, there's 3 episodes left, and this show has had just bangers on bangers every week. So I cannot wait till the next one. I've said that every week, but especially it's going to be a little bit longer. We got that over our heads. I think for sure. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but I don't believe Agnes's act that she was putting on in the car seemed too fishy, and that she just kind of like she was messed up, and then all of a sudden he like touched her head and then reset her or whatever, and then she just like drove away. Like I feel like if she's so jacked up that she can't even move at that stop sign, like she can't just drive away after that. It just didn't seem right to me. I think that I don't know if she's in on it or what, but she definitely was not acting truthfully there. I think she was trying like misdirecting us for sure.
It looked like she was. I mean, they led us to believe that she was trying to get out of there because she's like at the edge and she's like, she won't let us leave. She won't even let us think about it. Man, this show is so good, especially after like rewatching other MCU titles. I can't, like, I feel like so excited that I can't believe we have 3 episodes left. They're gonna be hour piece. PC Mike, what else you catch? What else you hearing out on the internet? And how'd you feel about this week?
Like I said, 5 and 6 were awesome. Best of the series so far. I'm trying to stay off as much as possible, but when you're scrolling through Instagram or Twitter, some stuff just happens. I think we pretty much hit it all. The only thing the Giggler said he's going to be sad when this ends. I don't know if I'm going to be sad or excited because we finally get some answers. And I am struggling with all these avenues that we're going. So I might be a little more relieved than him just because, like, I want to know what's happening. I still think that big reveal is coming. I do not think it's Evan Peters. If they're comparing Evan Peters to Luke Skywalker, they need to really reevaluate some things in their life because that's just not how it should work. So I still think there's some big things to come. I think there's going to be I think there's going to be a tie-in with Doctor Strange, like you just said, Logan. Somehow they have to continue these movies with Phase 4. So I'm excited to see what's coming next for sure.
Well said. I could not agree more. I think that, they've teased out that like maybe some of these shows get a sequel, but like whenever I hear maybe about like WandaVision season 2, right? Like they're saying maybe. I think they're going to wrap up like a lot of this story and it's going to be about the next story. Now, will there be a cliffhanger component to the show? Absolutely, because why wouldn't there be with weekly content coming out all year, multiple shows, multiple movies where it's all going to tie together? Yeah, whatever it happens at the end of this, we know that Wanda is in Doctor Strange too. And I think that it might be almost a direct tie-in. I don't know.
I agree. I think it's just going to lead up to right there. Whatever it's just going to lead off to is Doctor Strange multiverse movie. So
it doesn't even feel like quite real to be able to say like, okay, the show ends and then Falcon and Winter Soldier and then Loki, Black Widow. Like, it's just happening. It's all happening. We're going to be talking about this shit every single week.
Disney's going to pump them out, man, just like they have with the Star Wars, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and then we got Star Wars.
Oh,
I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with Star Wars. I'm being 100% honest. That is so much stuff.
Well, I think we'll keep up with like the stuff that connects most directly. I think like you're going to have Han Solo, or not Han Solo, Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, and then maybe
Obi-Wan.
and then Obi-Wan. Like those three, we're going to watch those three.
But I don't know if I can do all the Rebels and all the other stuff. Like, that'll be hard.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's animated too, so probably that's something that most of us would probably not be in on because I don't know, might not connect to the larger universe. But the things that do, I'm in for sure.
Well, I think we did a good job as well. This was WandaVision episode 6. Next week is WandaVision episode 7. You can bet your ass we'll be talking about it. And another fun thing we're doing for our fans that go the extra mile on this show, I'm doing my an instant take, about 3 to 6 minute usually audio, only goes to our newsletter subscribers. You go to mostlysuperheroes.com, you subscribe to the newsletter. What do you get? A handwritten email from me every Friday highlighting on what's coming up on the show, so you kind of know before everybody else a little bit more detail. It's a way for you to get involved. All you have to do is hit reply, and boom, you're going to be in fan mail. You subscribe to that newsletter. I'm going to do it. I do an instant take. It's spoiler-filled. I keep it very quick. Like, I watch it, and then I get on the mic, and I just start talking. So that's for you fans that are really subscribing. We see more and more subscribers every week. The squad, man, we appreciate you guys so much, and the fact that you guys are on this journey with us. We have so much more to talk about. We're just getting started. I mean, at this point, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. So I hope Giggler and PC Mike are ready to grow old with mostly superheroes. With that, let's get into what's coming up on the show.